What if the richest man in the room came back home and realized he was the poorest where it mattered most? Ryan Brooks built a life people dream of. Money, power, success. But the moment he steps back into his quiet hometown, one door opens, and everything he thought he knew about love starts to fall apart. Because behind that door, Zema, the girl he left behind, the only person who never stopped believing in him. But here is the question. After years of silence, regret, and choices that changed everything, can one moment, one touch, one truth, rewrite a love story that time tried to erase? Stay with me, 'cause what happens next is not just about love. It is about the one thing money can never buy, and the one choice that can change everything. Before we dive into the incredible story, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it moved you, share it, comments below, and let someone know you are never alone. I stepped off the train. The air felt older than me. Dust clung to my shoes, to my chest, to the memories I buried under polished success. I built towers in cities that never slept, earned numbers people whispered about. Here, felt small again. The road to her house remained the same. Crooked fence, wild roses breathing softly in the wind. My hand hesitated right before the door. Then it opened. No warning, no preparation, just her eyes, and the sudden weight in my chest. You came back. Her voice carried years inside it. I wanted to answer smoothly, like the man I became. Instead, I never really left. Silence stretched, not empty, full. A chair creaked behind her. A kettle hummed somewhere distant. Ordinary sounds, yet they shook me more than boardrooms ever did. She stepped aside. I entered slowly, like stepping into a memory that refused to fade. Her hands rougher now, her smile softer yet guarded. I heard about you, she said. Course she did. The money, the success, the illusion. He nodded, but something inside me cracked. Sharp, unexpected. I built everything, I said, my voice uneven, and still felt empty. Her eyes searched mine, not impressed, not distant, just understanding. That hurt more than judgment ever could. A gust of wind pushed the window open. Cold air rushed in, carrying the scent of rain and soil. The room shifted, time folded, and suddenly, I saw it clearly. All those years, running forward, only to end up here, with her. My voice dropped, almost breaking. I thought money would make me enough. She stepped closer, so close I felt her breath, steady, warm. You were always enough, she whispered. That moment hit harder than any failure, because I believed her, and it terrified me. The world outside faded. No numbers, no noise, just standing in the quiet truth I avoided for years. My chest tightened, not with fear, but with something deeper, something real, and for the first time in years, I had no idea what would happen next. I stood there, caught between who I was and who I finally saw. Emma turned away, slow, deliberate, as if giving me space to either stay or run again. Kettle screamed now, sharp, piercing. She reached for it, hand steady, like years of quiet strength lived inside her bones. I watched everything, the way she moved, the way silence wrapped around her. Not lonely, just used to carrying weight alone. Guilt pressed into my ribs, heavy, unforgiving. I should have come back sooner, I said. The words tasted late. Too late. She poured the water, steam rising between us, blurring her face. For just a second. You came when you were ready, she replied. But something beneath it, something fragile, shifted. I stepped closer, careful, like approaching something sacred, or broken. Were you ever angry? The question slipped out raw. Her hand paused midair, just for a heartbeat, but I felt it. I was, she said softly. Then life kept moving. It hurt. Not loud, not sharp, just deep. The kind that settles in silence. A chair scraped lightly across the wooden floor. Sat. Because standing felt impossible now. Because everything inside me started to unravel. Low, uncontrolled, real. She placed a cup in front of me. Our fingers brushed, and the world tilted. Shock. Not loud, but undeniable. My breath caught. Her eyes flickered. Just for a moment, there it was. Not gone. Never gone. The past lived here. Not as memory, but as something waiting. Outside the wind picked up. Branches tapped against the glass. Rhythmic, insistent, like time knocking. I leaned forward, voice lower now, almost afraid of the truth forming inside me. I spent years building a life. My hands tightened around the cup. But none of it feels like this. She did not answer, just looked at me. And that silence, it spoke louder than anything I ever owned. A floorboard creaked behind her. The house shifted. Or maybe it was me. Because something inside my chest finally gave way. Not breaking, opening. And I knew, whatever came next, would change everything again. Her gaze held mine. Steady, unflinching. Like she saw every version of me. I tried to hide. The wind outside grew louder. A storm building. Slow, patient. Inevitable. I stood again. Restless energy in my chest. This place, it never changed, I said. A weak attempt to steady myself. Emma shook her head slightly. It changed, she murmured. You just learned how to see it. That landed deep. 'Cause she was right. I walked toward the window. Watched the horizon blur. Under thick rolling clouds. Fields stretched wide. Gold turning dark. Like something beautiful. About to be tested. I thought coming back would feel simple, I admitted. My reflection stared back at me. Sharp suit. Tired eyes. A stranger in a familiar place. Behind me. Her footsteps. Measured. Closing the distance I created years ago. You always made things harder than they needed to be, she said. A hint of warmth. Almost teasing. But not quite. Turned. Too quickly. Too honestly. And you always stayed, I replied. The words hung. Fragile. Suppose. Dangerous in their truth. Her expression shifted. Flicker. Of something deeper than calm. I had reasons, she said. Quick, but firm. I stepped closer again. No distance left now. What reasons? My voice barely held steady. Thunder rolled. Low. Distant. Yet it shook something inside me. She looked past me for a second, like choosing between silence and something heavier, then back at me. I stayed because someone had to believe in this place, she said. Pause. Long enough to feel everything unsaid. And because I believed in you. The room stilled. Completely. Even the storm seemed to hesitate. As if waiting. That confession. It hit deeper than success ever did. Stronger than failure. My chest tightened again. But this time. Felt like truth demanding space. You should not have, I whispered. Not out of rejection. But out of fear. I never deserved it. She stepped even closer. Now there was no space at all. No, she said gently. I chose to. Lightning flashed. Bright. Filling the room with stark clarity. For a split second, everything became visible. No past to hide in. No future to escape to. Just this moment. Undeniable. And fragile enough to break. If I looked away again, my hand lifted. Hesitant. Uncertain. Hovering between us. Not touching, but close enough. To feel the warmth of her skin. Risk. Voice. Everything I built. Felt meaningless. Compared to this single second. And still. Fear lingered. Quiet. Persistent. Asking one final question. I could no longer ignore. What if I reached for her? And she pulled away. The thought stayed there. Sharp. And welcome. Yet honest. Rain began to fall. First gentle, then sudden, insistent against the roof. The sound filled the silence. Neither of us broke. My hand trembled slightly, not from doubt alone, but from everything I carried back with me. Years of distance, unspoken words, missed chances. Ryan! She said my name softly, like it still belonged here. That alone shifted something inside me. I exhaled, slow, heavy, and let the walls I built finally loosen. I was afraid, I admitted. The words came uneven, but real. Afraid I would come back and find nothing left. The rain grew louder, matching the rhythm in my chest. Emma did not step away, did not interrupt. She stayed, and that presence felt stronger than anything I ever earned. So you chose to stay gone, she said. Not accusing, just clear. He nodded, because there was no excuse that could survive this moment. Another flash of lightning. Closer now. The room flickered, and for a heartbeat, I saw us as we were before. Younger, unbroken. Then it vanished, replaced by who we became. Still standing, still here. I kept thinking I needed more, I said. My voice cracked slightly. Not weak, just honest. More success, more proof, more reasons to deserve this. I gestured between us. Careful, almost reverent. Emma's eyes softened, but they held something stronger than sympathy. Love was never something you had to earn, she said. The simplicity of it felt overwhelming, like I spent years solving a problem that never existed. The storm pressed harder now, wind pushing against the walls, testing them, testing me. My hand moved again, this time closer, not stopping, not hesitating as much. The space between us, finally narrowing to something fragile and real. Her breath slowed. I could feel it, warm against the tension in the air. Every second stretched, longer than it should, shorter than I needed. My fingers brushed hers, but uncertain, and everything inside me stilled. No noise, no past, no future, just that single point of contact. Quiet, electric, undeniable. She did not pull away, but she did not move closer either. And somehow, that in-between felt heavier than anything before. 'Cause now, the choice was no longer about leaving. It was about staying, in a truth that asked everything from me. Her fingers stayed in mine, not tight, not distant, just present, and somehow, that quiet presence answered everything fear could not. The storm outside began to ease. Rain softened, from a relentless drum to a steady whisper. I breathed in, low, like learning how to exist again, without armor. I spent years chasing a life, I said, my voice steadier now, and forgot the people who gave it meaning. Emma's thumb moved, a small gentle shift, but it grounded me more than anything I ever owned. You found your way back, she replied. No judgment, no weight, just truth. I shook my head slightly, not on my own, because standing here, feeling this, it was never about success. It was about courage, the kind I avoided, the kind she carried quietly. All these years, sunlight began to break through the clouds, thin at first, then warmer, spilling across the wooden floor, like a promise that stayed. I looked at her, really looked this time, at the strength in her silence, the patience in her eyes, the love that never demanded, yet never disappeared. I am done running, I said, each word clear, complete. I am here now, if you will have me. Not as who I became, but as who I truly am. The air held still, one final pause. She smiled, not wide, not overwhelming, just real. I never needed anything else, she said. And in that moment, everything settled. Not perfectly, not magically, but honestly. The past stayed where it belonged. Lesson, not a prison. We stepped outside together. The ground still damp, the sky clearing, the world quieter somehow. No grand promises, no dramatic endings, just two people, choosing to stay, choosing to try. 'Cause love never asked for wealth, or perfection, or flawless timing. It asked for truth, for presence, for the courage to return, and the humility to remain. And that day, I finally understood. A full heart is not built by what we earn, but by who we refuse to lose. When everything else fades,